Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, especially if you're a college football or a college basketball fan, because that's all I do every single day. When you get a chance, go check out our Patreon page. A lot of time and effort going into that. In fact, our next Patreon live show will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. We also have a great website that was designed and created by Joey Foster, 8 great writers over there, led by our head writer, Michael Walker. And of course, an awesome merchandise store. Go check it out. A lot of stuff over there. In fact, I've ordered 2 t-shirts, the gold one and the blue one. Can't wait to get them, show them off to you. On to today's video, and I'll tell you something. You know what? It is a great week. It is a great week to be a Mountaineer fan. First, we found out that J.T.Daniels did, in fact, choose West Virginia over Missouri and Oregon State. And I started talking about J.T.Daniels back in January. I got called crazy. Man, what are you thinking, Golden Blue Dude? West Virginia is down in the dumps right now. There is no way we would land a talent like J.T.Daniels. But the pieces were already there, especially when we hired Graham Harrell. That was the nail in the coffin. That is what brought J.T.Daniels to West Virginia. I mean, also, we have a great recovery center. Our facilities are top-notch. We put a lot of money into that, but it was the Graham Harrell hire, mark my words. Well, on top of that, we found out today that we got 4-star linebacker Josiah Trotter. He has committed to West Virginia. This is a big-time pickup for West Virginia, and for the 2023 recruiting class, before this pickup, West Virginia was already up to number 18. I think this could put West Virginia up in the top 10, and I know a lot of things will change between now and the final rankings. They always do, but this is a great start. I think this guarantees that West Virginia will have a top 25 recruiting class under Neil Brown for 2023. That hasn't happened ever at West Virginia. So that would be history in the making. Great start right there. And people were talking about the transfer portal in a negative way before J.T.Daniels came to West Virginia, talking about losing Hakeem Mesidor, Daryl Porter Jr., Nick Troy Fortune, Jarrett Daggy, and Winston Wright Jr. 5 starters. But you got to realize, people wanted Jarrett Daggy out of West Virginia anyway. Then there's Hakeem Mesidor. He actually wanted to play defensive end, and with Dante Stills coming back, that wasn't going to happen. And there's Winston Wright Jr. Yes, he was the leading receiver for West Virginia, but only by like 10 or 15 yards, and he was the leading receiver of a bad offense. Daryl Porter Jr. has some great games, but he's also had some terrible games. He's a big-time gamble. I wish nothing but the best for him at Miami, but he gambles way too much. And then there's Nick Troy Fortune. Yes, he was a starting cornerback, but he got injured last year. Charles Woods took over and locked down that corner. So if you really think about it, they weren't as big of a loss as you thought they were. And I know J.T.Daniels has changed the mindset of West Virginia fans as far as the transfer portal goes, but I'm saying even before that, people were overreacting to what they were hearing. Hakeem Mesidor was the very first Neil Brown recruit that entered the transfer portal, and when Neil Brown did his press conference, he was sad and hurt. It hurt him bad, and that was the silver lining to everything before Hakeem Mesidor. All the recruits hitting the transfer portal were Dana Holgorsen. So when Hakeem Mesidor hit the transfer portal, that's when West Virginia fans really jumped on the Fire Neil Brown bandwagon. I'm not hearing you that loud anymore ever since we got J.T.Daniels, and now we got Josiah Trotter, a 4-star linebacker. Recruiting class should be in the top 10 for now. Amazing stuff going on at Morgantown. And I think the biggest difference from last year to this year, well, first of all, our defense is going to be fine. Last year, our defense had to hold opponents to under 25 points for West Virginia to win a football game. That's not going to be the case this year. I think if the defense can hold opponents to under 30 points, West Virginia wins. Could even be higher than that, but I'm going to stick with 30. J.T.Daniels, his completion percentage is 70%. A lot of people want to focus on, well, he was a 5-star out of high school, but only a 3-star as a transfer. A lot of things go into that. If you look at his actual stats, he's a 5-star quarterback. That 3-star rating is because he's injury prone. And what happened to Tyke Smith when he transferred from West Virginia to Georgia? He got injured. I'm telling you, West Virginia knows how to take care of their players. If you look at the injury reports from the past few years, West Virginia's done really good. So I'm confident that J.T.Daniels will actually stay healthy at West Virginia. And it helps that we have our entire offensive line coming back. Oh, but Golden Blue Dude, they struggled last year. If you watch the game by game after the bye week, they got better and better. And now they'll have another entire offseason together. I think they come out of the gate swinging. And one big glaring thing that West Virginia fans overlooked last year, 6-7. That was everybody wanted to look at it. 6-7. That's a losing year. That's horrible. Neil Brown needs to go. Hold on. Let's back up. Let's look at those losses. Baylor, Oklahoma State, convincing losses. So that's off the board. But the other 4 regular season losses, Maryland, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, and Kansas State, 50-50 football games. You flip 2 of those, that's 8-4. You flip all 4 of them, that's 10-2. So the biggest question is our offense going to be good enough to flip those 50-50 football games? And I'm telling you, you see me bouncing, I'm telling you the answer is yes. We will flip those 50-50 football games. Quick look at our schedule at Pitt. Very confident we're going to win that game now. 80-20 in favor of West Virginia. In fact, if you watched my live show the other night, Talk is Pitt, one of my faithful Pitt subscribers called in, and he's not liking what he saw from his quarterbacks. Even a Pitt fan shaking in their boots because of their quarterback situation. Now, the defense, that's another story. Pitt's going to have a great defense, but Pitt's offense might not be that good. Quarterback's not looking good over there. 80-20, West Virginia wins. Start warming up those pipes, Talk is Pitt, because you're going to be singing Country Roads and I'll be videoing the whole time. After that, Kansas at home, blowout win. Townsend at home, blowout win. At Virginia Tech. This was a 50-50 football game that we won last year. I think we hold serve and keep the Black Diamond Trophy in Morgantown. Virginia Tech's going to be a train wreck this year. And I know it's in Blacksburg. Tough place to play, not going to lie. But Virginia Tech's going to be a bad team next year. After that, on the road to Texas. That might actually be a battle. But before the last 2 years, the road team has actually dominated this series. I'm giving West Virginia 75-25 over Texas. Texas does have talent, but their coaching not so good. 5-7 last year. They lost to Kansas at home. After that, we get a bye week. Then we get Baylor at home. This is one of the games that I do think West Virginia flips. It's in Morgantown. Our offense is going to be much, much better. That defense is going to be stout as ever. And if you look at the groups, what groups for Baylor are actually better than West Virginia? Let's go down the line. Defensive line, that goes to West Virginia. Linebackers, that goes to West Virginia. Safeties, I'll go to Baylor on that one. Quarterbacks, 50-50. Quarterback, West Virginia. Wide receivers, West Virginia. Running backs, West Virginia. Offensive line, 50-50 as well. So Baylor only has like 2 groups that are better than West Virginia's groups. And it's in Morgantown. I'm telling you, it gets flipped. West Virginia wins. After that, on the road to Texas Tech. This was a game that we should not have lost last year. It was the deflating game, actually. If we win that game, West Virginia goes 8-4. That's how much it affected the season. We owe Texas Tech. Texas Tech will be okay, but West Virginia much better. Another game that West Virginia flips. After that, TCU at home. That's going to be a blowout. Then on the road to Iowa State. That's a game that could actually flip back to Iowa State. That's the only game that I'm calling that flips the other way. After that, we get Oklahoma at home. I'm telling you guys, this is the year. West Virginia is going to beat Oklahoma. I'm getting tickets to this game, and it could be a convincing win over Oklahoma. So yes, that game gets flipped. In Kansas State at home, that's going to flip over to West Virginia in Morgantown. Kansas State's still trying to figure out their quarterback position. Kansas State will beat some teams that they're not supposed to beat, but it's not going to be West Virginia in Morgantown. That's a win. Finally, the road trip to Oklahoma State. I do think that stays with Oklahoma State. West Virginia loses that. Oklahoma State's going to be cream of the crop at the Big 12, and it's on the road. But we might get 2 chances against Oklahoma State because I think West Virginia has a big chance to get to the Big 12 championship in 2022. You know what they say? It's tough to beat a quality team 2 times in the same season. So I think in that second game, it would actually favor West Virginia. So we're looking at a 10-2 season. I'm being serious, guys. 10-2 with a shot at the Big 12 championship. That's how big this J.T.Daniels pickup is. And it's not just one person. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he was the missing piece because West Virginia, and you can ask all the other fans, what was West Virginia missing? Quality quarterback play. Not only is J.T.Daniels quality quarterback play, he's elite quarterback play. Now the biggest question is, will Nico Markle have patience? Because I thought J.T.Daniels only had 1 year of eligibility. Nah, he actually has 2 years of eligibility. So if J.T.Daniels wins the quarterback position 2 years in a row, would Nico Markle have the patience to wait till year 3 to take over? I'm not sure about that. However, there's a chance that in year 2, Nico Markle might surpass J.T.Daniels and actually beat J.T.Daniels for the starting quarterback. I'm telling you right now, the quarterback competition is going to be amazing this year and next year. I am super excited to be a West Virginia fan. Oh, and by the way, beyond the current series that we have with Pitt in the Backyard Brawl, we actually picked up another 4 years with only a 3-year in-between gap. And no, I have not forgotten about West Virginia talking to the ACC, and I've talked to my guys. It's still happening. Well, as far as they're actually talking. They are talking. West Virginia is actively trying to meet the requirements that the ACC laid out for them to get a formal invitation. West Virginia will have a choice very, very soon. Stay in the Big 12 or go to the ACC. It will be West Virginia's choice. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments section. That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you on my next show.